So what's up tonight? How's it going tonight? Well, my end's not too bad for the moment. And there's some signal coming through my amplifier beeping like a motherfucker. Is it this fucking thing? No, it's not that fucking thing. Must be the tablet. Old lady must be on the tablet in there. Beep 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 beep. Should have played a damn riff to it, shouldn't I? Anyway, without getting too far off topic. So, come to my attention that you may ask yourself, well, Mr. Steve, how do you consistently play so consistent? Well, let me tell you, it's a trade secret. First of all, you have to have a guitar. Second of all, you don't necessarily have to have one, but it's good to have an amp. And then, just sit down and find a sound that you really like. And then, a little reverb knob, add just a little bit of reverb, because it adds a little decay. Let me show you the difference. It's not a lot of reverb, but check this out. Okay, versus, here's no reverb. See, it's kind of stale, kind of fragile. Now it'd be cool for really chuggy stuff or fast stuff, which would be like. But then when you end the note, it just. So anyway, just a little reverb goes a long ways. So. A little decay off there, not a whole lot of decay, but a little bit. And I'm in this damn metal shop, so it's going to reverberate in here anyway. And the camera's going to pick that shit up. But I learned something new about consistency. My pick. I was I just play the shit out of my picks, and I'm all, you've seen what I do. I do slides and shit, and I'm always doing runs and stuff, and I'm just fucking constantly, and it literally wears them the fuck out, and it wears them down. And I've got one in my case, and I'll show you at the end of the video just how big of a difference that it really is. Because I choke up on my pick. I think I've said that about 1,000,000 times, but I choke way up on my pick, so if it wears the tip down, it really fucks up my playing. Another thing, I tune. This is the tuner I use. There's a ton of tuners out there. It's Korg GA1. It works pretty damn good. This is what I started with. This old ass fucking quartz tuner. I don't even know if these are still around. I had to dismantle this a while back, clean it anyway. But my point is, stay in tune and intonate. Learn how to intonate. And intonate, do it yourself. Intonate like you would play, like with the string pressure that you would push down, how you would push down, everything on the 12th fret when you do your intonation. And there's a ton of fucking videos on YouTube about that shit. And I'll try to make it a point next time I restring to check my intonation and stuff, because it does drift. Just a little tiny bit. It drifts over time. It just does. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. The neck may move a 1/2 of a millimeter, one way or the other, this way, or it may bow in a little, or it may back out depending on humidity and temperature and, shit like that. The stresses that it's put through. You're playing, the oil and grease and shit in your hands. There's a million fucking things that cause it. So tuning. Get your intonation and stuff right, and get your tuning to the way that you play. I don't mean just bring everything up to the perfect little green dot, Play the string like you would normally play. Like, warm up first. Warm up. Play it. Play with it halfway out of tune. That's what I do. And then I warm up. I get both my hands, like I would play normally, and then I tune. I pick the strings like I would play it. And if I play it lightly, like you would tune, like I tuned when I first started. If I play it lightly, my E is a little bit flat. My A is just a touch, tiny bit flat, and the rest of them are super duper close. They might just be a touch, tiny touch flat. But the reason is because one, I choke way up on my pick, so my ability to attack the string is really high. I can have a ton and a half of attack if I want to, so I can play hard enough to throw it out of tune, easy peasy. But the way I normally play would be, kind of just below the fret buzzing. I don't want it to bang off a string, so that should be dead on E. Like every string strike should be dead on E, and fade as the string comes back should slowly fade a little bit flat. So tune the way you play. That helps a ton. That took me a long time to figure out. I hated hearing my guitar out of tune. I used to tune fucking non-stop, it seemed. I was like, oh God, why is this guitar out of tune, It wasn't a guitar. It was me. It was the way I played. So I had to tune to the way I played, or play to the way I tuned. One of the two. I had to make a choice if I wanted to be in tune. Anyway, share a beer with you. Not as cold tonight as I normally like, but I bought my beer earlier and it sat in my truck. But it's kind of cold outside, so it didn't get too hot. If I was to say, it's probably 40 degrees. So not icy cold, no, it's still good. However, this is a fresh pack of cigarettes. If you ever smoked a stale cigarette, you would know that having a fresh pack of cigarettes is kind of nice. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Another thing about consistency that I've gone through over the years, I'm not trying to make off like I'm some kind of badass player, because I'm not. I'm really not. I think the world and anybody watching my videos would know that. I'm not anywhere like Steve Vai or none of those motherfuckers. I never will be. I just don't have the time. I have the love and the drive, not the time. Anyway, another thing that I have found though is I use a hair tie. This is one of my old lady's hair ties, and what I do is I put it across. If you have a really long string pull, like this one does, for example, if you pull it around the headstock and wrap it around one of your tuning pegs, and it's just barely on there. It's not really pressing down the strings, and then it's soft, and it kind of absorbs some of the, I guess it would be called sympathetic vibrations going past the nut. And that's pretty dead, but without it, for instance, and with it, so there's a huge difference there. It just keeps some noise and stuff out of the signal. Another thing is, this one has a straight string pull. My Les Paul has a string pull that kind of goes like that towards the tuning pegs. That can and will and has caused tuning issues for eternity for everybody for different reasons. But this one has a straight string pull. So I guess I can't really talk too much about that. But the tuning machines themselves, these are auto trim locking tuners. And the reason I switched to these is because, one, there's no wraps, and I even pull tension on my strings when I restring and stuff, so that I don't have to. It didn't even make a full half wrap, But anyway, yeah, I replaced my tuners, and they're I guess it'd be a really high ratio, like one full turn barely turns the fucking thing, So that's nice for being able to tune up and be as precise as you can, I guess, when you tune. and then they're locking tuners. So you just put the damn string in there, and then you know, tighten it down, tune up, and since it's auto trim, it cuts the string off flush with the peg itself, so it keeps the string bullshit out of the way. Another thing that I might add, and this isn't for everybody. I don't know if you can see that or not. Bink. Yeah, see how my pickups are almost sunk in. They're just a hair over flush. I'd say that's probably 2 millimeters, maybe a millimeter and a half, something like that up here. And this one's probably 2 millimeters on the treble side, and maybe a millimeter on the bass side. And this pickup here, it's down as far as it'll go, but you can tell that it's up a lot higher. But it's half the fucking power because it's half the pickup. So they all blend out pretty well for the situation I got. And I keep them low for 2 reasons. One, so I don't have to worry about crashing into them when I play, which is nice. And 2, because I found that the higher that I seem to have them, the more output I get. But even though I turn the gain down, I still got a lot of noise and a lot of shit that I don't want to deal with. On the higher output pickups and shit, I just back them down. I back them away so I can get some string and some note definition. Not too far. If you go too damn far, you know, you're gonna lose your punch and your fucking, you know, some of your kind of attitude, you know, with playing. But yeah. So find your sweet spot. Find your sweet spot where you like your pickups at, and play it there. And I mean, these are all just suggestions, you know, from a guy that just got off work. And they may not work for you. And you may not like it at all. You may set your guitar up similar to mine and be like, fuck, this sucks dick. Another thing with consistency that I've done over the years is play with the gain off. And I know I'll play all my videos and shit, I play with the gain on. So you can really figure out where your precision and kind of where you're at with your playing and your playing style if the gain's turned off, because it don't give you any extra juice. So, for instance, you know, verses. So, it's basically, it helps you clean your playing up, so you're not, you know, you're not striking any strings. You're keeping all the strings silent that you want silent. Such as, just for instance, like if I didn't wrap my hand around and use my fingers and shit in my palm and my fingers over here to deaden some of the strings, if I just played exactly like I would play with no deadening, it would be like this. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Hang on. See? Oh, that's not good. But if you apply the techniques of muting the other strings that you don't want to play, everything gets a lot more clear. So, verses. Maybe it's not for everybody. Sounds better that way to me. And last but not least, well, 2 short things. One, I don't play with a whole lot of gain on my amp. This amplifier doesn't even offer a whole lot of gain. And I do have it set at 3/4, but that's really not very much. And a lot of the time I back it down a little bit, so I may only be playing at 1 or 2 o'clock on the game. And there's not very much to offer with this thing. Personally, I like to boost the bass and the volume and stuff, and try to make it sound punchy like that. But the other thing, I guess I could say, last thing, and I'll shut the hell up, is take care of your shit. mean, that's about as simple as it can be. You know? For instance, I've had this cord, this very same cord, for probably 7 years. And I just wipe it off and shit, and I make sure it's clean, and I take care of it. Bam, bam. I don't purposefully step on it. I'm mindful of what I do. I mean, this strap I've had for probably 16 years. You know, and every once in a while I just wipe it off real good with some Armor All and check it and make sure there's no rips or nothing. The strap locks, I wore 3 sets of strap locks out on this, and not because of lack of maintenance or caring. It's just from using them, you know, on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Matter of fact, these are the original outside hoops that the first time I ever put them on. So the hoops on the outside are still the originals. And this guitar, I've had this very same guitar now for 4 years, sorry. Well, almost 5. But, you know, and basically, it's got a couple of dings and stuff, just because, well, life happens. But, I polished the frets 2 or 3 times with my Dremel, and a felt polishing wheel and some rouge. I clean the fretboard every time I restring. I don't always grease it up and oil it and shit every time I restring, just because sometimes it just doesn't need it. But I always clean it. I keep fresh strings on it. I don't let stuff rust. I always go over my pole pieces and stuff. I've been using this shit. I know it says it's got lemon oil in it, but I think that's probably a half-ass hoax. Because I used it and it works fantastic. It doesn't grease anything up. It's a good cleaner. It smells good. Put graphite in my nut. Make sure my nut's not broke or anything. You know what I mean? I just check shit. I just go over stuff. Once I get a guitar set up, I just check it. Just look at it every once in a while, you know? As far as consistency and playing and stuff. Mechanically, I guess. That's about all I got. So.